Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm introducing you to a fat burning grain known as quinoa. Even though it is read as quinoa, it is pronounced as quinoa. Quinoa is a seed grain and it is completely gluten free. It is not a cereal grain or a part of the grass grain family. Quinoa originated in South America about 5,000 years ago. It was staple for the Incas and is still one of their prominent food sources. Incas considered quinoa as a sacred crop and calls them the mother of all grains. It is a nutrient-dense food rich in manganese, phosphorus, magnesium and iron. The best thing about quinoa is that it is versatile and it can be used to prepare in a number of different ways. It can be had for breakfast, lunch or dinner. Quinoa can help you to lose weight if taken in moderation. 1 cup of cooked quinoa a day is recommended for weight loss. Quinoa has high fiber content. Dietary fiber is important for overall health because it keeps your digestive system running smoothly. It lowers cholesterol levels and helps to control blood sugar levels. Fiber also helps you to manage your weight because it helps to keep you fuller for a longer time. The great thing about quinoa is that even though it is obtained from plant, it is a complete protein. Now, what is a complete protein? It is the one that has all 9 essential amino acids that your body requires and cannot create on its own. Proteins like fiber increases a feeling of fullness and causes you to eat less. Protein is also important for building muscle mass. Quinoa does have a high carbohydrate content compared to other protein-rich food, so it is best to be eaten with other foods. Quinoa has anti-inflammatory phytonutrients and these compounds in quinoa decreases the risk of inflammation. Now there are about 1800 varieties of quinoa and the 3 main types are the white, red and black. White quinoa has the most neutral flavor, so if you are starting to include quinoa in your diet, then I would suggest you to start with the white one. The red and black ones have a more earthy flavor. Now quinoa contains high quantities of saponin coating on the outside of the kernel. Now this chemical component is very bitter to taste, so it is important to wash the grains thoroughly before using. Even if you do buy pre-washed and pre-soaked quinoa, it is best to soak the grains for at least 5 minutes and then wash and rinse it thoroughly and then keep it on a strainer before cooking. It has twice the protein content of rice. It also possesses good levels of several B vitamins. Now another important thing I like to mention about including quinoa in your diet is if you have thyroid issues, then you should definitely include quinoa in your diet. 1 cup of dry quinoa yields about 3 cups of cooked quinoa. The most common method of cooking quinoa is 1:2 ratio, that is 1 part quinoa and 2 parts water. Cooking quinoa should take roughly around 15 to 20 minutes and you can use them hot or cold. You can throw them in salads. You can top it with other cooked vegetables. You can make Indian style pulao. You can even add them in soups. Quinoa is absolutely versatile. So friends, include quinoa in your diet and enjoy this highly nutritious and gluten-free grain that may also help with your thyroid issues, weight management and overall health. Quinoa is so versatile that it can be used in many recipes. So what I usually do is I cook 1 cup of quinoa and once it has cooled down, I store it in a glass container and refrigerate it so that I can use it as and when I like. And yes, it stays good for about 3 to 4 days or even longer if you store it in the freezer. Now the most important thing is soaking the quinoa. It would be ideal to soak for at least 5 minutes. After that, simply rub the grain with your fingers and then discard the water. Repeat it 2 to 3 times and then I transfer it to a strainer and rinse it twice. Now these steps are really important. Why? Because the seeds are coated with a naturally occurring plant chemical known as saponin, and the soaking and rinsing will help to remove the saponin to a great extent. The saponins, if not removed, may make the quinoa very bitter and may also give stomach upsets for some. So do not skip this method even if the packet says it is pre-washed and soaked. Now once the quinoa is thoroughly rinsed, I like to keep it on a strainer for a few minutes for the water to drain off. Now when cooking quinoa, just keep in mind how you cook basmati rice. Then the whole process may be a lot more easier for you if you are cooking quinoa for the first time. Heat a saucepan or a kadai with 1 teaspoon coconut oil or ghee and then add in the strained quinoa. Give it a stir and reduce the heat to medium. I like to toast the quinoa for about 2 minutes or until you hear some popping sounds. But make sure you keep the flame on medium and also to stir it on and off so that while toasting it may not get stick to the pan and get burnt. We do not want that. And once you start hearing the popping sound, it means the quinoa is getting toasted and it is time to add in the water. Now usually quinoa is cooked with double the quantity of water, that is 1:2 ratio, but I like to add in a little less water to make the quinoa fluffy and non-sticky. So for 1 cup of quinoa I use 2 cups of water minus 2 tablespoons. That is, I just remove 2 tablespoons of water from the 2 cups of water I have measured. So now add in 2 cups minus 2 tablespoons of water into the toasted quinoa and then add in half teaspoon pink Himalayan salt and give it a stir. Once it starts to boil, put the flame on lowest and cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes. After 15 to 20 minutes, switch off the flame and keep the lid on for another 5 minutes so that it is steam cooked. Now after 5 minutes, open the lid and quinoa is ready. You can see that it has not stick to the bottom of the pan also. Quinoa is almost transparent once it is cooked and you can see tiny spirals, which is actually a germ separating from and curling around the seeds. Now at this stage I like to add in half teaspoon turmeric powder and 1/4 teaspoon pepper powder and then mix well and allow it to cool down completely so that I can store it in a container and keep it in the fridge. Now you can add in the turmeric and black pepper powder to the water when it is cooking. Either way is fine. So once the quinoa has cooled down completely, I am transferring to a glass container and cover it tightly. This will stay good in the fridge for about 3 to 4 days and longer in the freezer. So this is how I make non-sticky, fluffy and perfect quinoa each time. Sharing an easy and healthy quinoa recipe, which is a great meal idea for lunch or dinner. This is one of my favorite meal and it's super delicious, healthy and filling. It does not take much time to make if you have some cooked quinoa in the fridge. This is somewhat similar to curd rice. Well, in this case I substituted the rice with quinoa. So let's call this curd quinoa or yogurt quinoa. This recipe is perfect for those lazy days or if you had a really long and tiring day. But when it comes to cooking a meal for lunch or dinner, this lazy meal is my current favorite. So let's get started. Now into a bowl, I've already added 1 cup of cooked quinoa. Into that, I'm adding in about 4 to 5 tablespoons of low-fat homemade curd or yogurt, 1/4 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. I've already added salt while cooking quinoa. Mix the curd and quinoa well and keep it aside. To make the tadka or seasoning, I'm heating a cast iron pan with 1 teaspoon gingerly oil, which is also known as sesame oil or nallenna in Malayalam. And once the oil is heated, I'm adding in 1/4 cup of raw peanuts. And now put the flame on the lowest and lightly roast the peanuts, stirring it on and off. Once it starts to turn brown and is lightly roasted, add in a fat pinch of pink Himalayan salt and mix well so that the peanuts are lightly coated with the salt. Now once the peanuts are roasted, transfer it to a plate. Into the same pan, add in 1/4 cup of puri kadala or puttu kadala and stir and lightly roast it on low flame in the residue oil. Once it is roasted, sprinkle in salt and stir for a minute and then remove to a plate and keep it aside. Now into the same cast iron pan, add in 1 teaspoon gingerly oil and once it is heated, add in half teaspoon mustard seeds and once it starts to splutter, add in half teaspoon fenugreek seeds, 1/4 inch of chopped ginger, 2 finely chopped green chilies, 1 sprig of curry leaves and 2 whole red chilies which I had broken into 2 or 3 and on low flame mix it well for about a minute or 2. I actually forgot to add in the urad dal and the chana dal earlier, so I'm adding in 1 teaspoon urad dal and 1 teaspoon chana dal. You can add this right after the mustard seeds when you make it. Okay, now mix it very well, and once the dals are roasted, add in 1/4 teaspoon kayam, which is also known as hing or asafoetida. Mix lightly and then switch off the flame. And now allow this to cool down a little. Now into the quinoa and curd, add in the roasted peanuts and porikadala. Give it a mix and then add in the fried ingredients. Mix well, and if you feel the quinoa is slightly thick, you can add in another tablespoon or 2 of curd to thin it out. I like to add in pomegranate seed for a light crunch. I used pomegranate seeds because it is in season now. Feel free to use the fruits of your choice. Sprinkle in 1/4 teaspoon black pepper powder and mix again. And if you follow my recipes, you may have noticed that I simply love moringa leaves. So I'm adding in 2 to 3 sprigs of fresh moringa leaves. I'm just simply tearing it and adding it. Now instead of moringa leaves, you can add curry leaves or coriander leaves or even mint leaves. If you want to know more about the health benefits of moringa, please do check the description box below. Now I like to transfer this to a serving bowl and sprinkle some more pomegranate seeds on top. Finally, I like to sprinkle in some chopped coriander leaves. And my healthy and filling yogurt quinoa bowl is ready to serve. Enjoy this as a meal for lunch or dinner. Dinner is the most crucial and difficult time to eat healthy. So today I'm gonna be showing you how to make this super simple and healthy meal with quinoa, perfect for lunch or dinner. I like to call this quinoa fried rice, though it is actually a stir fry with vegetables, eggs and quinoa. To make quinoa fried rice, I have chopped half of a capsicum, 3 to 4 chopped baby corn, 1 medium sized carrot, half a cup of frozen peas, 3 to 4 garlic sliced, 3 green chilies, you can decrease or increase according to your taste, and 3 shallots. I'll be chopping these green chilies and shallots, which is also known as cherryolli in Malayalam. I have 1 sprig of spring onion which I'll be using to garnish. I'll be chopping this to garnish, and 1 stick of celery. This also I'll be chopping it up. And cooked quinoa. This is cooked quinoa which I had kept in my fridge, so it is cold. And for fried rice, I always prefer to add cold quinoa. If you are making quinoa and then making fried rice, then I would suggest you to cool the quinoa completely before adding to the fried rice. I am heating a large pan with about 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, and once the oil is heated, I am adding in 3 to 4 sliced garlic. And once the garlic is lightly browned and the flavor starts to release, add in the chopped shallots. Now I've put the flame on the lowest. Give this a stir. Add in chopped green chilies. You can decrease or increase green chilies according to your taste. Now give this a mix. Then I'm going to add in the carrots, baby corn and the capsicum. Give it a stir. I've put the flame on the lowest because this pan is a heavy bottomed pan. As it retains more heat, I've kept the flame on the lowest. Now add in the chopped celery. Adding celery gives a nice flavor. Again mix well. Add in 1 teaspoon pink Himalayan salt and give it a mix. Half cup of frozen peas. I'm sprinkling in about half teaspoon black pepper powder. Give it a mix. And now I'm pushing the vegetables to one side. And I'm adding in about 1 teaspoon coconut oil, and I'm quickly beating in 2 eggs. And now pour the eggs, sprinkling in a fat pinch of pink Himalayan salt and black pepper powder, and I'm lightly scrambling the eggs. Now adding egg is entirely optional. Give it a stir and mix it very well. I'm adding in 1 tablespoon soy sauce and 1 tablespoon red chili sauce. Give it all a mix and put the flame on highest and add in quinoa. So that's 2 cups of cooked quinoa. Give it all a mix. Now you can check salt. If you feel you need more salt, you can add. and I'm sprinkling in some black pepper powder and give it a mix. And this is one healthy and filling dinner recipe. Lastly, I'm just sprinkling in chopped spring onion, and my easy and quick quinoa fried rice is ready to serve. Now serve it to a bowl. Sprinkle some more chopped spring onion. To make this super weight loss quinoa salad, I've already chopped one medium-sized onion, one medium-sized carrot and one medium-sized cucumber. You can use any raw vegetable of your choice. Now first I'm going to make a dressing for the salad, and for that, into a bowl I'm adding in curd. So I have used about 5 to 6 tablespoons of curd. I've already shared a recipe on how to make curd. You can check out the recipe. The links will be down below in the description box. Now into that I'm adding in my weight loss green chutney. 1.5 tablespoons of green chutney. Mix this very well. I've already added salt to the green chutney, so I'm not adding any extra salt. But if you feel you need little more salt, you can add in a pinch of pink Himalayan salt. And now let's assemble the salad. One medium-sized chopped onion, chopped carrot, chopped cucumber, and now I'm adding in my cooked quinoa. So that's about 3 heaped tablespoons of cooked quinoa. You can either pour this dressing over the salad or simply place it in the middle like this. This is my personal way of serving the salad. It looks very nice and presentable, so I like to serve it like this. I'm sprinkling in a fat pinch of Himalayan salt over the vegetables. I'm also sprinkling in some chaat masala on top of the vegetables. And this is just a personal preference. My easy and quick super weight loss quinoa salad is ready to serve. If you like to see more such videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can stay updated when I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.